Hello, students. Today we will begin with the fourth chapter from your textbook Flamingo. The title of the chapter is The Rat Trap. This chapter has been written by Selma Logiloff. Selma Logiloff was born on 20th November and she died on 16th March 1940. She was a Swedish author and a teacher. She published her first novel at the age of 33. Selma was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, which she was awarded in the year 1909. Additionally, she was the first woman to be granted a membership in the Swedish Academy in 1914. Her stories have been translated into many languages, and a universal theme runs through all of them: a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. Now, before beginning the reading of the chapter, I will give you a quick introduction of the chapter. The Rat Trap is a story that is entertaining as well as philosophical. Through the metaphor of rat trap, the author highlights the human plight of falling into the trap of temptations. The story is a good analysis of the emotional needs of human beings that govern their behavior. There is subtle humor all through the story that serves in lightening the seriousness of its tone. So let us now begin reading the chapter. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So, he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. Even so, his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. So, the story begins like this: that once there was a man who used to sell small rat traps made of wire, and these rat traps were made by him in his free time or odd moments. It's written odd moments means a short period of free time which he had. Now, he used to collect the material required by begging from the stores or from the big farms. But still, it is told that still his business was not earning him any profit. Therefore, he had to both beg and steal in order to survive. And still he was in a very poor condition. His clothes were old and torn up. His cheeks were sunken. Sunken means they were all lowered up because he could not have plenty of food. So his cheeks were sunken and lowered inside due to malnutrition, and one could easily see the hunger in his eyes. Let us continue. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road, left to his own meditations. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. So now the narrator tells us that no one could imagine how sad and boring a life could be for such a vagabond. Vagabond means a wanderer, a person who doesn't have a particular place to live in and he roams from one place to another. That is a vagabond. So this person, the rat trap seller, he was a homeless person, and he would very slowly with his heavy feet plod on the roads from one place to another. And once it is said that he was left to his own meditations, which means he was all alone on the road walking with heavy feet, and he walked along the road lost in his own thoughts. Okay, but one day he got lost in a series of thought which he found very interesting. Line of thought means a series of thoughts which he was thinking about. So he found those series of thought very much interesting. Let us move ahead. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the whole world with its lands and seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. It offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. And as soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bait, it closed in on him. And then everything came to an end. So now this rat trap seller was thinking about the rat trap, and suddenly a thought came to his mind that the whole world, which includes the land, sea, cities, and villages, that the whole world, which includes all these things, was similar to a rat trap. And then he thought that there was no meaning of the existence of this world, as according to this rat trap seller, the world was nothing. The world was nothing, but it was a temptation, just like the cheese and pork which we offer as bait. What is a bait? The food which we place on a hook to trap a rat in that rat cage, that is a bait. So he felt that the rat trap, this world was nothing but a temptation, just like the cheese and pork which is offered as a bait to catch a rat. Similarly, this world is full of temptations, and so according to him, as soon as someone tries to comfort himself with the joys and food and shelter and luxuries of the world, he at once gets trapped into this rat trap which is known as the world. Okay, let us read ahead. The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think ill of it in this way. It became a cherished pastime of his during many dreary ploddings to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare, and of others who were still circling around the bait. So here in this paragraph we come to know that no one in the world had ever been kind to this rat trap seller. So he started thinking ill of others, and this became a favorite pastime for him to think ill about others. So during his dull moments, whenever he used to take his casual walks, these kind of thoughts made him very happy to think ill about others. So he continued with thinking ill of those who were known to him, people who he knew were already trapped in the rat trap of worldly things, and also he used to think ill of those who were about to get trapped in this in this world, these temptations provided by the world. Okay, this trap. Okay, let's move ahead. One dark evening, as he was trudging along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked off the door to ask shelter for the night. Nor was he refused. Instead, Instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Immediately he put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played muleys with, with his guest until bedtime. So, one evening, this rat trap seller was walking very slowly on the roads, and there he saw a little grey cottage which stood by the road. So he went up to the cottage and knocked at the door, and to his surprise, see, in the last paragraph we had read that nobody had given him any attention, or nobody had this entire world had not been kind to him. But this evening, what happened to him when he went up to that cottage and knocked at the door for some shelter? Generally, he was not helped by anyone, but this time he was welcomed by the old man into this cottage. Now, this old man, he was a lonely man without his wife and kids. So, what he did, the old man welcomed him very warmly, and he was very happy to get a company that night, okay, because he himself was a lonely person. So, the old man gave him some porridge. He heated up the porridge and he gave them the porridge to eat, and then he also shared his tobacco with the guest. It's written carved off. Carved off means he divided his tobacco into two parts, and they shared the tobacco, which was enough for both of them. After this, both of them played the game called Muleys, which is a card game, okay, until bedtime, and then they went to sleep. Let's move ahead. The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, his host had been a crofter at Ramsau Ironworks and had worked on the land. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Yes, that Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 krono in payment. Now, the rat trap seller felt that this old man was not only liberal in sharing his porridge and tobacco and all other things, but also he was very liberal and open in sharing his secrets with a stranger. That was the rat trap, because it was for the first time that they both were meeting. Now, he tells him that the crofter, this old man, tells him, the rat trap seller, that he was once a rich man when he used to work on the rented farm, and now he says that as he was old now and could not work, so he had to depend upon his cow for his living, and he says that he used to work in Ramsau Ironworks. Now do remember this name of the ironworks, okay. So he used to work in this ironworks company as a crofter, but since he was old now, he could not work as a labor over there, so he had to depend on his cow for his living. Now he tells about that, how he used to earn money. He says that the cow gave enough milk every day to be sold in the factory that produced cheese and cream. To a creamery he used to sell that milk which was produced by his cow. So this way he used to earn some money for his living. Now the old man also said that he was able to earn 30 kronos last month because of the cow's milk. Now, being a lonely person, being an old man, this crucial information about the 30 kronos he has given to a stranger whom he had met for the very first time. So he trusted this stranger. Okay, let us read ahead. The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kroner bills. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch. So the stranger must have seemed incredulous here, means that the rat trap seller did not believe the old man's word. Incredulous means unbelieving. So the rat trap seller, that look on his face, the old man thought that the rat trap seller was not believing that this old man had 30 kroners. So what he does, when he sees that the rat trap seller was not believing the old man, his words, that a cow could earn him so much money, an amount of 30 kroner. Therefore, the old man took a leather pouch which hung on a window and took out 30 kroners, 3 notes of 10 kroner each, which were old and crushed. Okay. So he showed those currency notes to make the rat trap seller believe his words, and then he kept them back in the pouch. Again, let's read further. The next day both men got up in good season. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed when the head of the house had gotten up. They left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the keys in his pocket. The man with the rat traps said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. So what happened the next morning? Next morning, both the rat trap seller and the crofter woke up early, as the crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow. So the crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed. Other man is the rat trap seller. So since the leader of the house, the host, was already up, so he didn't feel very good that he would be sleeping and the leader of the house is awake. So he also got up. So both of them got up early, and even the rat trap seller felt that as the owner of the house had awakened, so he should also leave the bed. So therefore he also was up. Now they both came out of the cottage at the same time, and the old man locked the door and went to his work. Now the rat trap seller also thanked him at that moment and went on his own way. Okay, this both of them waved or said goodbye to each other and thank you, and thereupon they took their own way. But come to the next paragraph. But half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed a pane, stuck in his hand, and got hold of the pouch with 30 kroner. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. So, what has this rat trap seller done now? After about half an hour, this rat trap seller returned to the cottage of the crofter, and what he did? He didn't went up to the door. He went up to the window, smashed the window pane, and he straightaway took the pouch which was hung over there. Now he took away the money, that 30 kroners, from the pouch. He took it out, kept that money in his pocket, and he again put that pouch back at its place and walked off from there. Okay. So he broke the trust of the crofter. He robbed all the money that the person had saved for him. Okay, further. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway, but must turn off the road into the woods. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. Later in the day, it became worse, for it was a big and confusing forest which he had gotten into. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked, without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. Now, this is a very important paragraph. So, the peddler, what he did, he stole the 30 kronos of the old crofter. Now, as he walked along with the money in his pocket, he was very much happy. He was very, you know, feeling pleased because of his own smartness, that how cleverly he had stolen the money in the absence of the crofter. Now, it is written that first he realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway. So he said that he believed that it was unsafe for him to take the highway path because he feared of being caught. So initially it was so he opted to go and take the path of the forest. So it is told that initially it was not difficult to walk through the forest, but later on it got confusing for him as he forgot his way. Okay, so he tried hard to walk in the right direction, but it was all in vain, as he found himself that he was walking at the same path. Okay, he was at the same place again and again in the forest. Now at this point he realizes something. He started thinking that now, as he had stolen the money of the old crofter, so he himself was caught in the trap of the world, about which he was already thinking since the beginning of the chapter. Okay, so now this 30 kronos was like the bait which attracted the rat trap seller towards it, and he stole that money, and he got trapped in the rat trap himself. So he was actually fooled by the bait of money which he had stolen from the old man's house, old crofter's house. And now the forest seemed like a prison full of trunks and branches. It is written, the whole forest with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison. Impenetrable means which is impassable. One cannot pass through it. So impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. So it was the forest now seemed to him like an impassable prison from which he could never pass through, from which he could never escape. Okay, let's come to the next paragraph. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Finally, he saw no way out, and he sank down on the ground, tired to death, thinking that his last moment had come. But just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill, he thought. There must be people nearby. He summoned all his strength, got up, and staggered in the direction of the sound. So, in this paragraph, the narrator tells us that as it was the month of December and it had already got dark, so as it got dark, his hope, the rat trap seller's hope of escaping the forest also reduced, and the danger which he was feeling for his life, that also increased. So he was feeling very much afraid that he might die because he was not finding a way out, and it was a cold winter night, and so he was getting more hopeless that he would never be able to escape from this forest. Now there was no way left for him to move out of that forest. So what he did, he sat on the ground and was so tired and terrified that he thought that this was his last moment, and also he thought that he would soon die. Now as he laid his head on the ground, what happened? He heard a very strong, regular thumping sound. Okay. Now what was this sound of? It was a hard sound that was coming at the regular intervals, and he soon realized that these sounds were the sounds of hammer strokes. And then he guessed that it would nearby there would be an iron mill around. Okay, so he thought that he could find some people nearby, and with this thought he gathered all of his strength and started walking with very much difficulty though, but he gathered all his strength, he got some hope, and towards the direction of the sound he started his journey. Now we'll take up only till here in this session. Please reread the paragraphs that we have already read. Keep all your doubts for the next session, and also mark the difficult words and find out their meanings. Thank you everyone.